Alrighty, we are in section 5.4, complex fractions and rates. We're in your notes packet on pages 6 and 7 for this lesson today. So going ahead, get started. Complex fractions are fractions where the numerator, the denominator, or both are also fractions. So what we're going to do is here we have a couple examples. We're going to simplify the complex fraction and we're going to write it out as a division problem first. So for the first one, I notice that I have 1/4 over 2. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1/4 divided by 2. So writing that out, we have 1/4. Helps if I have a pen. 1/4 divided by 2. So then I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator, and I have 1/4 divided by 2 is going to give me 1/8. Since it is a fraction to start, we want to make sure that our final answer looks like a fraction here. For question number 2, we have 1 divided by 1/2. So we're going to write that out, 1 divided by 1/2, and I end up getting 2. Once you write these out as division problems, you are able to rewrite them as with the keep, switch, flip, and just actually divide, which you would be able to, I just did this the wrong way, divided by 2. So you would end up writing them out as keep, switch, and then flip, and that would give you the same exact answer. Or you're welcome to use your calculator at this point just for speed. In question number 3, I don't know why we have this B here other than my keyboard was being crazy here. So in question number 3, we have 2 divided by 2/3. So if I do 2 divided by 2/3 on my calculator, I get 3 as my answer. For the next one, I'm going to have 2/4, which is the numerator, divided by 2, which is your denominator. And doing that gives you 1/4. So that's how you take care of complex fractions. Complex fractions and percentages. Keep in mind that percents compare numbers to 100. So what we're going to do is if we have a complex fraction inside our percent, we're going to rewrite the percent as a complex fraction over 100. So the first example, on Javi's soccer team, about 33 1/3% of the players have scored a goal. Write this as a fraction in simplest form. So we're going to take 33 1/3, dropping the percent symbol and put it over 100. And then when we type in to our calculator 33 1/3 divided by 100, we get 1/3 as our reduced fraction. So 33 1/3% is equal to 1/3. The next one, a county sales tax is 6 2/3%. Write the percent as a fraction in simplest form. Again, we're going to write this without the percent sign and put it over 100. So that would be 6 2/3 divided by 100, and that's going to give you 1/15 then. Next part that we have, complex fractions and unit rates. Remember, unit rates are just division problems. Be aware that the numerator and or denominator might be fractions. Dividing creates the needed denominator of 1, which is what makes it a unit rate. So example 1, Josiah can jog 1 1/3 miles in a quarter of an hour. Find his average speed in miles per hour. So we're going to have 1 1/3 miles, and that's going to take up a quarter of an hour. So if we do 1 1/3 divided by a quarter, we get 5 1/3 miles per hour. You can write that as a mixed number for this one because that kind of makes more sense to us real life. Example number 2 is underneath here. Mrs. Towers spreads mulch in her yard. She spread 4 2/3 square yards in 2 hours. How many square yards can she mulch per hour? So she spread 4 2/3 square yards, and that took her 2 hours. So if we take 4 2/3 and divide by 2, we get 2 1/3 square yards per hour. Example number 3 is back up here. It took 2/3 of a minute to fill a barrel a quarter full of water. Find the unit rate in barrels per minute. So the barrel is quarter full. So we have a quarter of a barrel, and that took 2/3 of a minute. So we're going to do 1/4 divided by 2/3, and that's going to give us 3/4 of a barrel per minute. Example number 4, Aubrey can walk 4.5 miles in 1.5 hours. Find her average speed in miles per hour. So she's doing 4.5 miles, and that takes her 1.5 hours. So if you divide 4.5 by 1.5, you get 3 miles per hour. One more extension problem that's for this one. Today, Angelo read 1.5 pages in 3 minutes. Find his reading speed in pages per hour. So extension problem, this is minutes. We need to make sure it's hours. So we need to do pages. So we have 1.5 pages. And we want to do this per hour. So we know that this takes him 3 minutes. 3 minutes, there are 60 minutes in an hour. So 3 minutes would be 3/60ths of an hour. So if we take 1.5 pages divided by 3/60ths of an hour, we get 30 pages per hour. So there's your extension problem. That wraps it up for this lesson.